You're listening to Cyber 94 Podcast. If you want to break into cybersecurity with real-life experience, go to cyber94.com.
Chloe, let's dive right into a story that is the definition of a cybersecurity nightmare. We're talking about the biggest digital bank robbery of all time. But the bank was a crypto exchange, and the robbers, well, they were ghosts in the machine. This is the story of the $1.5 billion Bybit heist.
It's a chilling one, Ben. Imagine this. It's February 2025 at Bybit, the world's second largest crypto exchange. An employee is doing something they've done 100 times before.
Okay.
Approving a routine transfer of funds. They're moving a large chunk of Ethereum from the company's ultra-secure offline storage, what's called a cold wallet,
Right.
to a warm wallet to cover daily trading activity.
So it's like moving money from the main bank vault to the teller's drawers for the day.
Exactly.
A standard, necessary procedure. The employee checks the destination address on their screen. It looks perfect. They click approve. And in that instant, $1.5 billion just vanishes into thin air.
The money never made it to the warm wallet.
Nope.
Because what that employee saw on their screen was an illusion, a sophisticated digital lie. The system they were using had been compromised, and this is where the true horror of the attack lies. The attackers, they didn't smash down Bybit's front door. They were more clever than that.
Much more. The FBI later attributed this to a notorious North Korean state-sponsored hacking unit known as Trader,
Right.
a faction of the infamous Lazarus Group. And they didn't target Bybit directly.
So where did they go?
They went after a trusted third-party tool Bybit used to authorize transactions, a platform called SafeWallet.
Okay, let's break down how insidious this was. The hackers first compromised a developer working for SafeWallet through social engineering. Once inside, they just patiently waited. And then they manipulated the very user interface that Bybit's employees would see.
Wow.
They slipped in a piece of malicious code that would only activate for specific large-value Bybit transactions.
It's the digital equivalent of invisible ink on a bank transfer form. The Bybit employee signs what looks like a legitimate transfer to their own company account.
Yep.
But underneath, that invisible ink has a different account number written on it, one belonging to the hackers. The moment the signature is applied, the money is gone.
And this is where the story shifts from a financial crime to a global security threat.
This wasn't for a yacht or a mansion.
No. According to UN and U.S. government reports, these massive crypto heists are a primary source of foreign currency for the North Korean regime.
This $1.5 billion was likely funneled directly into funding their weapons programs.
And the fallout was immediate. As news broke, customer panic set in. Bybit was hit with over 350,000 withdrawal requests.
Oh my God. Their CEO, Ben Joe, had to act fast, taking to social media to make a crucial promise.
What was it?
That every single customer would be made whole, even if the exchange had to cover the $1.5 billion loss itself. A move that really likely saved the company from collapse.
So while Bybit was fighting to survive,
Right.
the hackers were already in the next phase, laundering the money. This wasn't amateur hour. They began a complex, multi-stage process to make the funds untraceable. First, they swapped the stolen Ethereum for Bitcoin.
Okay.
Then they started using services called mixers.
Which are designed to tumble digital coins from thousands of different sources together, completely scrambling the transaction trail. They even employed a tactic called flooding the zone,
Wow.
executing tens of thousands of tiny transactions to overwhelm and confuse the blockchain analysts who were desperately trying to chase the money.
So it became this high-stakes global chase. On one side, you have the hackers using organized crime syndicates for money laundering as a service.
Right.
And on the other, you have this coalition of crypto exchanges, cybersecurity firms, and international law enforcement all racing against the clock, trying to find a point in the chain where they can freeze the funds.
This heist was a brutal lesson for the entire industry. It proved that your own security can be perfect,
Yeah.
but you are still vulnerable if one of your trusted partners has a weakness. It forced a fundamental rethink of how transactions are verified, pushing for new methods like off-chain validation, basically having a separate system to double-check that what you see on the screen is what is actually happening on the blockchain.
It's a story of incredible sophistication, deception,
Yeah.
and the terrifying link between digital crime and real-world threats. It began with a single, confident click and ended with a $1.5 billion hole in the digital world.
Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. As our financial world becomes more digital and interconnected, we rely on countless third-party tools and services. How can we ever truly trust what we see on our screens?